I'm dealing with the future of the planet. I'm the necessary shock to the system. I am human evolutionary change. Bulletproof. Superhuman.
Who the hell are you?
Bad guy.
The mission has been compromised. We need help.
Our target's name is Brixton. He's a ghost. We're gonna need the best trackers in the business. Luke Hobbs.
I'm what you call an ice-cold can of whoop ass.
Career lawman. Always gets his guy. We're gonna need to operate outside the system. Deckard Shaw.
I'm what you might call a champagne problem.
Rogue former MI6 agent. Doesn't play well with others. If we stand a chance against Brixton, you guys have to work together.
No way.
This guy's a real ass.
This job requires stealth. Look at you.
I'm trying to save the world, which, for the record,
Will be my fourth time.
because I'm really good at it.
You have no idea what we're dealing with.
Hobbs and Shaw. You want a war? You've got one. Remember me?
On my three. Sure. 1, 2, 3.
Three shocks will kill a man. There we go. It's a bad guy speech.
You had to open your big mouth, didn't you, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a cool thing to say in the moment.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Happy Super Bowl weekend. They finally started to drop the Super Bowl trailers, starting with Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. So if you didn't know, this is The Rock and Jason Statham's Fast and Furious spinoff based on their characters from Fast 8, because it takes place after that movie. So I'll explain what's going on. There's a couple new additions to the franchise, and there's a whole bunch of news about the Fast and Furious franchise in general. So it's Super Bowl weekend. If you're finding my channel for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all those videos. So biggest thing, Hobbs and Shaw takes place after the events of Fast 8. They sort of won their freedom from the government for saving the world during the course of that movie, because that was the one where Vin Diesel's character was forced by Charlize Theron to turn to the dark side, or make it seem like he turned to the dark side and betray all his friends. So it was all about family, like he had to pretend like he hated them all. Then he came back because of the surprise love child that he found about with his former lover from one of the previous movies. So surprise Vin Diesel baby during the Fast and Furious franchise. They named that baby Brian after Paul Walker's character. So now there is a new Brian in the Fast and Furious franchise that we'll see again probably during Fast 9. Because Hobbs and Shaw is a spin-off, they're making Fast 9 right now. I think that they're getting ready to shoot it, or they've already started to shoot it, because Vin Diesel just posted something on Instagram with Michelle Rodriguez, like getting ready to start for our next Fast and Furious movie. So presumably that movie will take place after the events of Hobbs and Shaw. Like they all seem to move in a linear fashion. Even though we've all been joking like to slowly move the franchise by the 10th film into outer space. Like where do you take that 10th Fast and Furious film? But even though this is a spin-off, technically it is the 9th Fast and Furious movie. It's just that their characters, Hobbs and Shaw from Fate of the Furious, were probably one of the best things about that movie, and they had so much chemistry together that by the time that they had started dropping trailers for that, like the minute you see them go at each other in the prison, people were screaming spin-off. Like it just seems like those two characters would work well together in a future movie. So of course The Rock, who has really big pull at the studio, and he's just a really big box office draw for people, is like, hell yeah, I'll do a spin-off with Jason Statham. Jason Statham has his own giant fandom. If you didn't see The Meg, that movie did gangbusters blockbusters regardless of what you thought of the quality of the story. Like, people will just show up to see Jason Statham kick ass in movies regardless of what the movie is actually about. Same thing for The Rock. So of course they were going to do Hobbs and Shaw. There were all these reports of drama behind the scenes when they were talking about the spin-off, and Vin Diesel altering cuts of Fast and Furious 8 so that there wasn't as much Rock in it, and there were some of the other stars of the franchise like Tyrese that were really upset that The Rock was trying to do a spin-off of their main franchise. It's hard to tell how much of that's real and actors are actually upset with each other, or if it's all fake beef in the name of publicity. Like, The Rock comes from the world of wrestling where you have professional beefs with other characters as part of a story arc. So it's like, eventually they face off in the ring and they deal with the beef. But the whole deal with this movie is that Idris Elba gets to be the worst bad guy of the franchise so far. Like, that's the whole idea. It's like every time they roll out a new bad guy, like Jason Statham's Shaw character used to be the villain. He's actually the guy that killed Han at the end of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. They addressed that a little bit, but that was one of the narrative ways that they really got fans to hate his character when he first debuted. Like, oh, he's a threatening villain because he killed this character that we all love so much. That was Fast and Furious 7. Fast and Furious 8 was where they turned him into the anti-hero, like, we'll pardon you of your crimes if you help us take down this even worse villain who was Charlize Theron's character. The turns of the movie are pretty easy to figure out, but from this footage, if you didn't recognize her, Vanessa Kirby is coming in from the Mission Impossible franchise. She was the White Widow during that movie. She was the daughter of the Maxine character from the first Mission Impossible movie, so it was just paying off a really big Easter egg and a brand new character. And she was pretty fantastic. She was also in The Crown. She did an amazing job, so she's a great actress, so of course they wanted to bring her into the Fast and Furious franchise. But if you didn't hear about it when she was initially cast, she's actually playing the sister of Shaw's character, so I guess that means she's probably going to wind up banging The Rock's character. That just seems like something that he would do to Shaw to spite him, because the whole trailer is them being forced to work together and then playing on those comedic moments. Like, I hate you so much, I can't believe that we're being forced to work together, so I guess we might as well make the best of it. So they probably find some common ground by the end of the film, then surprise twist, he winds up sleeping with his sister, which makes him hate him again, and they just carry it forward into the next film. But it seems like what's going on is that she's part of the family business. Remember, their mother, Jason Statham and Vanessa Kirby's mother in the franchise, is played by Helen Mirren. She was in Fast 8. She helped out Vin Diesel's character briefly, but she paid reference to Shaw. So they were just like this big Shaw family within the world of Fast and Furious now. And Vanessa Kirby is now his sister, just the newest part of that. Of course, she's a badass. I don't think you're allowed to bring in a new family member like that in a movie like this without them being some crazy level badass. But the rest of the trailer mostly hypes up what's going on with Idris Elba's villain character. Like, it tries to say that he's invincible, he says he's bulletproof. That's obviously because he has some crazy medical technology that heals him up, because you see all those scars on his back with this special machine stitching him right here. And it just seems like he has a lot of really stealth military tech built into that special black suit that he's wearing. Like, they spend the whole trailer talking about how big The Rock is and how crazy he is. Then he punches him right across frame. Like, holy crap, how did Idris Elba do that? He's probably just got one of those special military frames built in with all those metal parts that enhance the strength of soldiers. They've actually started to make those for the military. It's sort of like wearing a miniature version of a mech underneath your clothing. It basically multiplies your strength many fold. So that's why it seems like he's invincible, just because he's got all this special metal tech underneath his clothing that's enhancing his strength. There's something about The Rock jumping off of buildings in Fast and Furious movies. Like, they drove the car across 2 buildings. I think that was during Fast 7. There's typically a shot like that in all the trailers. In this, obviously, because it's Hobbs and Shaw, they just play on the comedy of that. So The Rock jumps over the side and Jason Statham takes the elevator while he's cursing him out, slowly going down. I don't know how self-contained this is supposed to be, so I don't know if they're actually going to have cameos from the other Fast and Furious franchise members, but based on the behind-the-scenes beefs that everyone's talking about, it sounds like it will not. Like, it'll be relatively self-contained, and they'll just verbally reference what happened during Fast 8, and then have some teaser that'll imply that they'll be coming back in the next Fast and Furious movie. I think the beauty largely of films like this is that you don't necessarily need to know what the plot is to enjoy it. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to make sense, because they know exactly who their audience is, they know exactly what they want, so they give it to them, and that's why the franchise has become so popular. Like, they just found their audience, like, okay, this is the kind of movie that you want, so we're just going to keep giving that to you, which is why the franchise has had so much longevity. When it turned from more of a movie about cars in the early Fast and Furious movie to more of a big action roller coaster film. Let me know what you think about all this. I think also the beauty of The Rock's movies is that separately, like, he has his own genre in and of himself. He's sort of like the new Schwarzenegger. Like, you know exactly what kind of movie you're going to get when you go to see a movie with The Rock in it. What'll be happening later this weekend is that there was a new Captain Marvel Super Bowl trailer that just dropped, so I'll do a video for that next, and then there'll be Avengers Endgame this weekend, I believe, maybe a Game of Thrones Season 8 trailer, and then a couple big Disney trailers. So leave all your requests in the comments below. While you wait for everything, click here for that brand new Captain Marvel trailer, and click here to find out why Ben Affleck left the Batman role. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.